What is good, kids? It's me, Mr. Scalzo here, and we're looking at today's project, and it's reminders about last week's demo, remixing the movies. And when we look at the options for the pictures that we have to work with here, I want to just show you some ideas that people have done previously and give some notes on those pictures. So let's take a look at some of these done by former students. So if you look here, we've got the Indiana Jones picture with the Ruffles potato chip bag. Here, great idea. I like the size of it. It's relatively reasonably sized. It just looks a little placed and not realistically placed. I'm gonna show you a technique to help that work a little bit better. The lighting is pretty good. It almost looks like it could be really there. But is it sitting on the pedestal or not? I'm not quite sure. And again, the edge of the picture is pretty good. That'll be another technique we could look at in a moment. All right, let's move on. Here's one. This is the Forrest Gump photo. And while I'm not usually a fan of using animated characters, why? Animated characters are already like drawn and are easily copied and pasted out of stuff, whereas if you use a human being or something, it's a little bit harder, or a realistic object. But I really like the way the cat looks like they're sitting across the bench here, and the nurse that was sitting there is removed pretty successfully, and Forrest looking over at the cat is pretty believable. So again, not my favorite technique of doing this, but it looks pretty good, and overall, not a bad end result. Now we're looking at Thor here, and Thor is holding a lollipop where he was holding his hammer previously. And I just want to quibble with the edit here. This is clearly a circular lollipop, and there's little edges here that could have been trimmed or edited a little bit differently. And when you look at the hand, it looks like they just kind of painted flesh color over the part of the handle that should have been covered by his hand. And we went over how to do that. So that's an interesting idea. Maybe a little bit better execution next time. Here's the same image with Thor holding a bouquet of flowers in his hand. Nice use of the copy and paste of his hand to be holding the flowers there. Decent end result. A little soft edges here around the flowers. But it does seem to match the coloring in the picture, maybe by luck, but that's pretty cool. Well, here's another Indiana Jones, and again, here's what you get. This is my point about the animation or graphic images that are not realistic looking. It just doesn't really look realistic. And our goal was to make something that looks believable. So keep that in mind. Yes, this is doable. It's there. And they've even copied in some extra stone from the pedestal. But, realistically, it doesn't look at all like this is really there or in a way that it's believable. Here's another Indiana Jones. And once again, points for all of the idea and the chubby cat sitting on the pedestal there. It's very sharply edited out of the background, and there's no bottom half of the cat. So again, is it believable or realistic? Not so much. And one of the things about the other ideas, if you use something that's fully 360-degree view, you're looking at something that the cat is not facing Indiana Jones. So it's in my mind, but again, good idea. I find it humorous, but I'm missing the bottom half of the cat. I wish that was there. Now here's one, a little golden idol of a little monkey. Great idea. And it's using a technique that we're going to look at in a moment here. This is the outer glow to give it kind of that shine that the original thing had. And that's a great idea. And here's another beauty. Very believable. The rotate, to see the melon there and 360 degrees, and it's believable that's the way it would look. And a little bit of shadow or glow around the outside edge. Nice work. But let's look back at, here's an idea that I was working on. So I have the full photo here with the real idol sitting there. And I'm going to take the object selection tool and select the idol and give it a moment here to catch up with us. It's pretty good. And what I'm going to do next should help this work a little bit better. I'm going into the edit menu. I'm going to choose content aware fill. So I'm choosing that, and you can see it's doing a pretty interesting job of removing the idol from the picture. In this side, this is telling it where to sample from all the green. So we don't need Indiana Jones sampled there in order to make the background look right. So I'm gonna just remove all that area where it's sampling from that, and it may get us a better, end result when it doesn't have Indiana Jones as part of the selection. It's decent. It's decent. I'll go with it. I'm gonna click apply, and then I'm gonna hit OK, and we're coming out of that, and we're gonna deselect. This has a little shimmer to it. It's not entirely covering right. So what I'm gonna do is choose the smudge tool, and I'm going to get my brush back, and I'm gonna smudge a little bit of the background over the idol to remove that little glow, that edge there. But hopefully what I put there will blur it out. What is good, kids? It's Mr. Scalzo here from the future. As I edited the video, I realized that I just demoed a very complicated content-aware fill technique for you, where when we started this project, we used the clone stamp tool. We were using clone stamp to remove an object from the picture if we had to get rid of something. And remember how we do that. You hold Option on the keyboard, and you click the mouse to sample a part of the background that you want to paint over to help remove the object. And that's what I'm doing on the screen right now in super fast motion. But I thought I'd dive in here to remind you, clone stamp tool, try it. If you want to try the other technique, that's fine, but clone stamp tool is your friend. End of tangent, back to the video. And what am I gonna put there? Let's go over here, and I found Popeye's chicken that I wanted to use in there. So I have it selected, and I'm going to copy and paste it into the Indiana Jones picture. Okay, with the arrow tool, I'm going to move it into place. I'm going to resize it using Edit, Free Transform, scale it up. Let's make it look substantial. It works nice as a 360-degree image because it is it's visible from all sides. It would definitely be tempting to Indy here if he wanted it, okay? Now looking, there's a couple of little errors here, like in the bag, this is the orange background from the original photo, so I would definitely remove that, click around it and get it gone. Delete. I'm going to deselect now, and here's where some of the extra tools come in that I wanted to show you. If you, on any layer, if you double click, these options pop up, and there's all kinds of things in here. The monkey was done using the outer glow, right, like this. And every tool you use has parameters that you can tinker with to make it do more or less of what you want. And we don't want it to look ridiculous. We want it to look believable. But I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do drop shadow. So I'm selecting drop shadow, and I'm going to slide the sliders until it does what I want. And look at it with and without the drop shadow. See how it kind of looks like a stuck-on thing here? And here, it is substantial, and it looks realistic. Here's the opacity tool to give it more or less of the shadow. And you can move the shadow around by sliding the angle options here. And even just a little bit of that shadow will give it kind of a bit of believability and feel like it's in that place and realistic. So again, that's right here when you double click, and those options appear there all the time. You can try some of the others. Whenever I do text, I do stroke, and that gives us the ability to do a dark outline around something, but again, not appropriate for this picture. But lots of other things are in here. The outer glow, but the drop shadow is key to giving your picture like presence and believability. So those are the things that I want you to try today. I look forward to seeing what you make, but that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.